In my last video, I did a plus 11 Priory as a Resto Shaman, and some of you guys liked it, some of you guys did not like it, but in today's video, hopefully I can sway those of you who did not like that last one into liking this one. So we have 625 item level once again. You can also see that the people in my video the last video are still on my details meters. That was the dungeon that I did right before this one. So this is the 12 that we got from plus wanting that key. And a lot of people were commenting like, oh, that's cool, now try pugging it. These are pug groups. These are just random people that I invited, and you can even see down here someone had just left the party and then this warlock joined. Like, I sat here while like 15 people joined the group and saw my item level, inspected me, and left the group, and we had to replace them. Like, I sat here for a long time, and I made it very known to this group. I was like, hey, I am lower item level, but you can look, I can do this key. And this tank, he messaged me, he was like, you know what, let's give this a shot. If it goes bad, I'll just leave. And I was like, that's fair. So I do have very good comms through private chats with this tank, and I'm pretty sure that I think his item level was 556. I'm pretty sure his item level was 556. A lot of people were like, well, with a 665 tank, you can do anything, like it doesn't even matter, you don't need a healer. But what you're going to see in this key is that I do the necessary healing to get the key done to keep people alive, and I also do a lot of tech to prevent damage from coming in, because it won't matter about my item level if I can prevent the damage, and Shaman has a very good kit to do that. And also there's a lot of dungeon tech that I know just from having done this dungeon on my monk. See there, I tried clicking lust on this first pull. We can turn our sound up a bit, but I tried clicking lust and totally didn't. I still have to click the button. I did end up getting more mana food for this character. I got the cinder something. It's a very good food, but I've since found out that Rocky Road is a better mana food that I've gotten. But this pool, very easy, especially when you lust it. You kind of just let your tank do his thing, stay alive, hope he stays alive, keep him alive through it, and then just let your hots heal everyone and try to control the mobs from the casts. Very easy pool, as long as you dodge the frontal, which we did. But yeah, once again, trying to control cast. That's a great way to get through this first part of the mob. And then the really cool tech like comes in later in the dungeon. So as we come up to these first few pools, these Void Riders are going to be the first like big check if I can heal them. This is my first Rookery on the Shaman too, so I haven't done this dungeon and like practiced my cooldowns. But I know that I'm going to try to use my stuns and my knockups during the pulses, because I'll need nothing else to happen so that I can predict all the damage that's going to happen. I do get targeted by this first energizing barrage, but here comes this localized storm. I have my defensive rolling because I got targeted, and I drop my healing stream totems. I pop Ascendance, and that gets us through the first one. And we have three major cooldowns, three 3-minute cooldowns. Ascendance is probably your strongest healing one. Spirit Link Totem is probably your strongest overall one, and then you have Healing Tide Totem, which I just dropped, and it will get us through this localized storm, as well as a Healing Stream Totem, and I do end up committing the Spirit Link Totem, and that's because these next few pools don't have a Void Rider in them, so I have about 3 minutes to recharge those cooldowns. So I am committing my cooldowns, using them often, frequently, and trying to get the best use case out of them in this early part. But a lot of these pools is just because we're controlling the mobs. And a lot of people were saying like, yeah, you can do basically any key if your group knows the mechanics. And yeah, these guys know the basic mechanics, but you're going to see later in this dungeon that they don't know like a lot of the techs, and they see me doing them, and then they pick it up and they like learn from what I was doing. And I know that sounds like very cocky to say, trust me, I get that, but they did send me a message saying, hey, I didn't know you could do that. And then they start doing it. And you'll see what I mean as we get later on in the dungeon. But all this portion of the dungeon is just spot healing the people that get targeted by the energizing barrage. And you can see the paladin did not pop a defensive until after the energizing barrage went on him. So also a lot of people were commenting, yeah, if you get people that can pop their cooldowns, their defensives and stuff, then you can do any dungeon. I agree. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm also saying that as a healer, you can control a lot more in a dungeon than you think. Yeah, you can't hard carry people. I'm not claiming that that's what I'm doing. I'm just saying I think I'm doing enough of my part to where a few mistakes are made, and we are going to be able to get through this dungeon for the most part. But stay tuned till the end, because I do want you guys to see the ending of this dungeon as well. But once again, I'm trying to control as many of these kicks and casts as possible, keeping my capacitor totem and my thunderstorm on cooldown, my kick on cooldown as well. And that is one of the strengths of Shaman, is that your kick is a melee timed cooldown, but it's a range cooldown, so super, super strong. Probably the strongest kick probably in the game. I don't know if that's true, but definitely of all the healers. Once again, here's another Void Rider pool. Still don't have Lust, and this pool is very scary, but luckily I have my Capacitor Totem. I'm going to put that down right before this first Void Rider goes off. Pop my defensive because I get targeted, and that will carry me through this first Energized Storm. And Healing Stream Totems plus my Nature Swiftness was enough to heal through that AoE. I knew there wasn't any more unpredicted damage coming in because I did have those mobs CC'd. But now this next one I don't have CC for, but these mobs, since I hard committed, like since I over committed my CC on that first pulse, a lot of the mobs are dead, so the second one's going to be less threatening than the first one, and I now have at least Healing Tide ready if I need to drop it. But a lot of this first section of the dungeon, it's just mob control, knowing when the damage is coming in, like when the unavoidable damage is coming in, like these energized barrages, spot healing checks, and then the Void Riders AoE pulses, like knowing when those are coming in and knowing how to counteract them, but also trying to prevent all of the preventable damage from coming in at the wrong time. So like it's okay if like 1 or 2 lightning bolt casts go off outside of those pulses, but if they go off during the pulse, that's when you have real trouble. Last few pools coming up. This pool, usually the tank is under some heat, so I am going to show him a bit more love there. I see I'm getting double casted on, so I kicked one and I was ready to go tuck behind this pillar if I needed to, if that other cast was coming my way. But you're going to see, I think it's this key, but some casts start going my way. And yeah, I'm getting ready to hide behind the pillar since my kick is down if I need to. See, there's one. We're just going to hide from it. Boom. Now it's like, you don't even need a cast. There's another one coming my way. Instead of wasting my kick on it, I'm just going to hide from it. Now I can kick this next one. So really trying to prevent as much damage as possible. Here comes one my way. It does rail me. Does about half my health. But now it's boss time, and we were able to save Spirit Link Totem for this first part of the boss. We have Ascendance coming off in 20 seconds. I have a pretty solid cycle of my buttons, and you see here my tank says drink. Now, I do think that I'm still, since I'm under-leveled, I am having to cast more and do more casts to do the right amount of healing, basically. But as long as I'm keeping people alive enough to where they're going to survive the next incoming damage, I count that as a success. But I am having to drink a lot, and that does slow us down quite a bit. So I'm not saying that you could just do this at any point with any item level. There definitely are drawbacks, and one of them here is my mana usage and having to overcommit things, cooldowns and such. But here I'm thinking, how can I get through this? And I do have Spirit Walker's Grace. That's another excellent tool that shamans have, only shamans have, where you can cast on the move once every minute and a half. So instead of having to commit cooldowns, I'm just having to commit one of my 2 charges of Healing Stream Totem, and there my tank walked through the beam. I don't know what that was about, but we just dispel him and run back. I don't know if there's some kind of tech or something. But here I know I'm going to need a cooldown for this next one, but I pop Ascendance beforehand because I need to get that Hunter up to a livable health once again. Another time where the Paladin pops a defensive at a weird moment. But you know what? We take it. At least he's using that button, right? But yeah, this boss is pretty simple. It's just get everyone up to where they're going to survive the circles, spread to where you don't cleave the circles on people, and then just dodge the beam. And as long as you can do the healing on the move, then you're fine. See here, I even go the wrong way, but no worries. Ghost Wolf form and Healing Stream Totem ×2 is good enough to heal that. I see my Nature Swiftness up in 5 seconds. I will say this phase is kind of annoying that you can't get any like Surging Totem value out of, because that's like one of our highest value things. But I'm still holding on to the Totemic Recall, which is the one that gives you one of your last used totem back, so you can get like a charge of your Healing Stream Totem back. But here, yeah, those mechanics still at a plus 12 level are not enough to one-shot my 625 character. And granted, Verse is my highest stat. It's not like so high. It's not like crazy high to where it's like hard carrying my survivability. But once again, you just have these dungeons, the ones that I'm doing, I'm not doing like Floodgate. I'll admit, Floodgate I did try at plus 12, and I was just barely not enough to heal through Swamp Face without running out of mana. And we gave it 2 tries, and I still wasn't able to. Like, some dungeons, you will not be able to do this, but dungeons like this, dungeons like Priory that don't have um, those big, like, Swamp Face fights, basically, you can absolutely do. I think I even did a plus 11 workshop and it went just fine, just like this one. But yeah, I'll go ahead and skip ahead to downstairs. This guy has 10% less life left. You know how the fight goes. But we can skip to downstairs. And I do collect my buff once everyone else is made down. And here, the tank types, can you 3 times? Meaning, like, can you do a big pull here? I say, yeah. I don't know what pull he's talking about. We never pull this pack. I always skip this pack in like every key I've done. But you know what? YOLO. The tank asks. I'm like, sure, buddy. Let's see. But see there, that's already the tech. I LOS that cast. There, our paladin did use a defensive there. Very nice by him. But I honestly was not expecting for this pack. And I think our tank was trying to pull downstairs. But no, he just meant pull that pack down to the next one. I thought he was going to double pull these diffusers or whatever. But you see, these people are just face tanking that big circle. But I've already done the thing where I LOS it. And you'll see as we go on, I try to LOS everyone that targets me to slow down the cast cycle of these diffusers. And it really mitigates how much overall damage your party's taking. You see here, a lot of the damage is just going into the tank. And yeah, his healing is sky high on this pool because this is a heavy tank pool. But like I see he has committed so many cooldowns, and like right now he's still in his, what is it, bark skin or iron bark, whatever that one's called. And all I have to do is just keep the rest of the party up and keep him obviously livable. But as long as I can mitigate as much damage as possible, and a lot of that is trying to mitigate the jumps that those guys do, these void crushes. If you can stun those guys, kind of like keep them off. As a Mistweaver, I always use ROP. But also you can LOS the giant circle. So here, once again, just committing my cooldowns. And keeping the tank up. The tank is scary. He did use a lot of stuff last pool, so I'm trying to show him a bit more love than I did on the last pool. Just keeping everyone's health stable, hoping that the circle targets me, because I'm the only one so far that's shown to, like, that I know to LOS that circle. But just keeping everyone stable, and then once someone is targeted, I'm putting a spot heal onto them. But like, they don't have to sit at 100% health. Here I typed to my tank, I'm gonna beat after this next pool, so just like wait on me, just to make sure he knows. Here I do get targeted by a very spooky one, but there I just tuck into the corner, it LOSs. But if that one would have hit me, that definitely would have killed me. If that would have gone on any of the other DPS, I would have had time to spot heal. Here, now I'm full. I was full enough to heal through that, or to survive that. But yeah, I'm just doing whatever I can in these keys to mitigate how much damage is done to my party. There is unavoidable damage, but Resto Shaman has great tools to deal with that. You see there, I get a leap during that attracting shadow, so use a defensive. We're good. Now I am out of defensives, though. I don't have my shield, don't have my defensive. Yeah, here I'm saying I'm going to be low on cooldown. I don't know why he's saying stack. Maybe there's something that I don't know about this. But I feel like if we stack, doesn't that just cleave the jumps? There, one person I do let a death slip through. That is my bad, but we can go back and watch that. So it's during an attractive shadow. The hunter does get the circle. They don't get to LOSing quick enough. So it looks like they did try to LOS it. They are out of stuff. And what am I doing? I think I thought that I got targeted by it. So look here. Yeah, I think I thought that it like went on me. I saw this big circle. I'm like, oh, that's on me because I saw the arrow above my head. So I go to hide. And then by the time I'm like, wait, who had it? That's my bad. Okay, so we've let one death slip through, and that was my fault. I will take full blame on that. I could have dropped Spirit Link Totem for sure to save him. However, I tried my hardest to keep Spirit Link Totem because I did not know what this next pull is going to look like. Once again, LOS on the pillars. You avoid that damage. So now I'm drinking, and we're coming up on what possibly could be a hard pull. I have no idea how this tank is going to pull. So I'm just saying Lush triple question mark. Like, are we pulling the double attracting shadows into that first pack? And he does respond, but I'm just trying to calm with the tank, make sure we're on the same page so I know what to do. So Shaman and Drew buff, please, because he did die. So I say, okay, and I click it. He said, save Lust for boss. Healing is hard on it. So I'm like, okay. But then I see he pulls the double diffuser, and I know I'll be able to heal the next boss fine. So I just pop Lust. This is a Lust pool for sure. But once again, you can LOS behind these pillars. You can also stand in this like archway over here. But you see, now people are going to start catching on. They're going to start LOSing these circles. Even the paladins, like, which pillar do I go to? He hides behind the right pillar, but I think he also popped an immunity because he didn't make it in time. But now people are starting to catch on that you can LOS these things. And good on them. Like, I'm not taking anything away from these players. They are smart enough, which as pugs, it's like this is what you hope for, is pugs that are smart enough to like catch on to things like this. But it's like you can, this kind of mechanic you can try to like lead by example, if that makes sense. Yeah, a lot less damage is coming into the party. You see here the Warlock does just face tank it, but a lot less damage hits the party than it should have. And there, like popping Ascendance plus Spirit Link Totem plus Healing Tide Totem, I did have to commit all 3 of my cooldowns to do the required healing for this pool, because it's a massive, disgusting pool, and we were lusted. But still, even still, a lot of that was so that I could be on the move and heal, and be on the move and dodge these mechanics and stuff. So, like, probably the hardest pull in this entire dungeon, or what's supposed to be the hardest pull in this entire dungeon. I tried to reserve my cooldowns for it. We did let someone die beforehand so that I could have the cooldowns for it. But we were able to do it because, you know, you can use tech. You can just things that you know to mitigate as much damage as possible. If you're an undergeared healer, trying to mitigate the amount of healing needed to be done is important. And there, we almost lost the Hunter. I did kind of let him rot a bit. That was a big old oopsie. But they survived. And now this boss is all about dot management. I feel like maybe I'm misremembering, but I'm pretty sure I do mess up on this boss. But as long as I can spot heal the dot person so that they won't die to the big jump, then we are fine. And this is still at plus 12 level, does not like one shot, but here I do get the dot, so I pop my shield, which is called like Stone Bulwark Totem or something like that. And then I move away from the tanks. I cannot survive it twice. Once again, another jump, trying to heal this Hunter, and yeah, I do let the Hunter die. I did have Nature Swiftness. I could have Nature Swiftness a healing surge on him. That is a big my bad, and then now we're just falling behind to the dot. So bad plays by me. I was the direct cause of both of those deaths. I will admit that. Part of this is just like unfamiliarity with the mechanics as this healer. Like, still trying to figure out what all I need to commit per mechanic. And here I definitely should be more aggressive with my healing stream totems, because you see here I'm still letting people rot down low with the dot, and that's not good. So I'm trying to get my footing on this boss, learn what I can do. And also, I don't have any of my major cooldowns. So like, yeah, I am making a bunch of excuses. I admit I'm making a bunch of excuses, but here I make sure I am closest to the tank. And now we're back with our cooldown. So we at least have Healing Tide Totem, so this fight should start to get a little easier, and then we're going to have Spirit Link Totem soon. Popping Spirit Walker's Grace for that movement so I can cast hard-casted healing spells while getting sucked in, just to make sure we don't fall low for the next dot. Tank gets it. I get it, making sure I dodge that beam. Making sure I spot heal myself because I know I'm squishy. Passing it to the next person, and we're good to go. Yeah, now, once you get your cooldowns back on this fight, like, it does feel a lot easier, but yeah, definitely could have saved those people in a couple different ways, I feel like, so a big my bad. I also haven't used my Earth Elemental, which I'm pretty sure that still gives, like, some health or something. Like, I need to start using that more. I'm pretty sure it gives, like, max health to your party, unless they change that. I need to look into that. But same old stuff, just keeping my totems down, keeping the basics. I really like that I don't have to keep refreshing my Earth Shield, because if y'all watch me do the 0 to 2500 challenge on this character last season, it was so annoying. And we did end up doing the Shaman in much less time than any other healer, so I really do think that this is just one of my best healers. And I mean, like, our Paladin, like, a lot of people were like, well, yeah, your DPS are doing, like, insane damage. Like, our Paladin's doing, like, 1 million single target. And our tank said 625 item level healer, everyone. So he's on our side, okay? We've converted him. I hope that at least one of you guys is like, you know what? I commented, like, there was someone named Eric on the last one who commented, like, this was definitely a carry. I'm not disagreeing. Like, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying, like, consider that maybe we're playing well. You know, like maybe I'm playing well enough to deserve to be in this key. And that's what I'm trying. I guess I am trying to convince you. I'm trying to say that I'm not trying to convince y'all, but maybe I am. But here, just trying to heal off these feasting voids. And as a Mistweaver monk, I have these down to a science. I know exactly what buttons to press as these feasting voids come out. I don't really know what all I need to commit here, so this is my first time seeing this mechanic as a shaman. So I'm trying to be as low committal as possible. And I'm also learning, I never do this as a monk, because as monk you can AoE heal it very easily with Crackling Jade Lightning. But I'm learning that, like, maybe I should just rip a Dispel, like, on as soon as that cast goes off to mitigate as much damage as possible. But I don't really do that just yet. But you're going to see we're going down with about 9 minutes, and that is pretty slow. That is pretty slow, and partly because I'm drinking a lot, but partly because I also am just doing no damage. I'm not really doing much damage, but also our Paladin, I'm just now looking. Another pool. He was below the tank, but I think he might have been late to that pool or something. Not too sure. But you're gonna see as we go in here, I once again I've only done these dungeons on live, on retail, on my monk. So I know exactly, like I know once these void stones gets to about 48%, I pop my Chi-Ji. I know that every single time. I set up the pools so that I can do that. But with this pug, I have no idea how he's gonna pool. I have no idea what cooldowns are best for which mechanics, like which ones are best for this Void Stone's AoE and which ones are best for the Feasting Voids, for example. So our tank is taking a big smack. He has 15 stacks of the dot. I am trying to help him get those off. But he's up to 19 stacks. I was just spraying single target into him. And then now that this AoE happens, we actually have to do some healing. So once again, barely any healing up until that point, because I was just spot healing the one guy taking any damage, you know. Those leaps basically got healed by my totems. But here I'm just trying to figure out what all I need to commit. I did use my healing Tide Totem. I'm starting to think, like, maybe that wasn't enough. There, the Hunter did commit Turtle, which was really good on his part. I don't think he would have died, because he was very similar health to me, but still, like, I'm like, okay, maybe I need to commit more than just healing Tide Totem for the next ones, is what I'm starting to think here. So Tank messaged me, I'm going slow here, or do you want 3 times? And I didn't respond because I was like, oh crap, I don't know what he means by 3 times, but we don't have less. We have 7 minutes left. It's getting close. This dungeon, we still have a lot of this dungeon left. Like, this last boss is a lot. And there I use Spirit Link Totem. I don't really know if Spirit Link Totem's really good for Feasting Void. I mean, it kept everyone from dying, really, or from even coming close, but I feel like that was a big overcommit. I probably should have committed Ascendance, because one Ascendance is only 2 minutes. But also it's better for, like, just raw throughput, which Feasting Void is just, you just need raw throughput. So I could have done, like, Ascendance, Chain Heal, Nature Swiftness, Chain Heal, and that probably would have ripped through everyone's Heal Absorb. But I think that was a big mistake, is using Spirit Link Totem there, and it will end up coming back to bite us. Because if we would have used Spirit Link there, or if we would have used Ascendance there, Ascendance would come up about a minute, or actually an exact minute before Spirit Link Totem comes up, or comes off cooldowns. So let's pay attention to those cooldowns as we move into these next pulls. I'm trying to drink for mana. I'm like, okay, so we're just going to pull this next Ascendant. Easy peasy. Oh, Storm Fury? Sure, I'll pop Storm Fury. Oh, crap. My tank is up there dying. So tank is holding on by a thread. No idea what all... He popped everything. He popped Incarn, Survival Instincts. Like, he was probably clinched. And then I come over to this pool late. My UI is giving me errors, like, oh, it's just like a nightmare scenario. But he also double pulled an Ascendant and a Crystal, or a Void Stone, which normally you don't do this. Normally you just pull this Ascendant and then pull the Void Stone once the Ascendant's about to go down, and then go do the double pull next. But he pulled both of them at the same time, which is very, very scary. However, I do have Ascendance to heal through this Ascendant, which is funny. My spell's Ascendance, that's an Ascendant. This Void Stone, though, you'll notice This Void Stone starts his AoE pulse about like now. I think it depends on where he's at in his little melee sequence or something, maybe. I don't know. But that's just how I think about it. About 45% on average is when he casts. So I'm like, crap. This Ascendant is still up. And this guy is about to start his big AoE. So if we get the Feasting Void without while that AoE is going off, and I don't have Spirit Link or anything, all I have is Healing Tide coming off in 5 seconds, please let us survive. So I pop my defensives. I think I'm about to drop like Earth Ellie or something. Like, I'm just like panicking at this point. So I'm like, crap, we didn't kill this Ascendant first, which is why you usually fight this Ascendant for a bit, get through that first Feasting Void, get her to about 75% health, and then you move to the Void Stone. That's like what everyone does, or at least what all the pugs I've been in do. But no, here we go. We're about to get big Unleashed Darkness. I drop my totems. I pop my defensive. I die because a leap goes on me. Oh, if I was paying attention to that. I was too busy thinking, like, how can I heal through this big AoE that's about to come up? I didn't see that I was targeted by the leap, which is really unfortunate because I did have Capacitor Totem. I could have easily stunned it. So there were a lot of ways that I could have survived. That's really tragic. This Void Crush is going on the Warlock. I'm like, okay, that's safe. I do get hit by it too, so maybe that was a big misplay, is that I got hit by, I got cleaved by his. At the same time that this AoE goes off, me and him both take a hit, and you see just how much more. He's at about like 55% health. I'm at about like 30, so I take a lot more damage. This next crush, I can't even see who the name is because this health plate is over the other one. That's just a big mistake. Now I say it's on me. Big yikes, and then even bigger yikes. Take the reincarn, die immediately. Oh, what an idiot. What an idiot. So as you probably have guessed, we still have this next double pool. We have 4 minutes left in the dungeon. We have this last boss. We are not going to time this key, which is fine. It's fine. We gave it an honest shot, and I did prove that if I would have played slightly better toward the end, if I would have played as good at the end of this dungeon as I did at the beginning, no, wait. No, the other way around, if I would have played as good at the end as I did at the beginning, we would have timed this. But yeah, I got to focus these. I was saying we got to focus the Ascendant and double pools. The tank is going to be like, yeah, that's what you got to do. Get her dead before the big crystal hits. The tank's at 100% on the DPS. I don't agree. I do think that is how you're supposed to handle those pools, is if you do double pool them, kill the Ascendant first before that guy does his AoE, just to make the pool like way more livable. It's like, why wouldn't you do that? But to be fair, normally you pull and then drag in there once this one's a little bit lower. So partly on the tank, but then also mostly on me. I do take most of the blame here because I could have survived. If I would have noticed that that guy was leaping on me, I would have survived. If I would have used my cooldowns better here, if I would have used Ascendance first and then Spirit Link Totem, you'll notice that we died with Spirit Link Totem at about a minute on cooldown, which is just big tragic. Just big tragic. About a minute. So yeah, if I would have used Ascendance first, then I would have had Spirit Link Totem there. So it's like there were a lot of mistakes that all of us made, and that's fine. That's pugging. That's part of why I love pugging, because it's, especially if you create a good environment and you just like, if people start BMing you, you don't BM back, or if you just try to say like, hey, that was on me. Like here I say that's on me though. I could have stunned the leaper guy. I'm like, I want to finish this run. My bad. You know, we're playing great. Let's just get through it. So yeah, look, I'm not claiming that I can time any dungeon and make it super easy, but I'm just saying that, like, if you're gonna do this on a healer, I think Shaman's the best pick because you can control mobs more than any other healer, and they have good mechanics to do stuff like this. Like Spirit Link Totem is the best cooldown that an under-geared healer could possibly have, because it does not care about your item level. But once again, all around, super good group for a bunch of pugs. Super good tank in his comms. Like, these comms made this dungeon so much better. And me typing to him before the dungeon, like trying to get a little bit of a plan, and these tiny little bits of communication can go a long ways. And you're allowed to do that in pugs. You're allowed to communicate. It doesn't have to be like completely blind, everyone flame each other. You're allowed to type communication. Every time that I set foot into like Dark Flame Cleft, every single time I say 3 things. Stack on the mole herds. I type that. I say on the second boss, only 1 person extinguish candle. I recommend like the Warlock, for example. And then on the final boss tank, can you run a candle during Eternal Darkness? I do that literally every single time that I set foot in that dungeon, and it makes the runs so smooth. Like little bits of communication really add up, and big props to this tank for doing it just as well, you know, like for communicating with me. I don't know where he's running. Where are we going? We got a field trip. Tank just wanted to get over here apparently. Oh, maybe just so that we don't pull the boss, which is really smart. Okay, I actually like it. I'll get that permission form signed for sure. But yeah, so unfortunate we don't time, but once again, proving that it was in theory possible. And we didn't get hard carried. Even if you argue we got a little bit hit carried, I'm not arguing against you because we are so low item level that it technically it couldn't not be a carry, right? But we did a lot of the mechanics enough to where it was okay that some people made some mistakes for the most part. Like, yeah, it did end up costing us in the end, but I thought this dungeon was really cool. This boss has so much health. I guess we can just skip ahead. I think we actually... Do we wipe to it? Do we have 10 deaths? No, we don't wipe to it, but I think I die very stupidly. Yeah, so we get it very low. I would dispel one person ASAP. I didn't care where they dropped their puddle. I know that was a little bit reckless of me, but dispel one person ASAP and then spot heal there. I tried to be cute with it, try to get over the, what am I doing? At this point, I was just like, okay, my brain's off. But I got over the darkness and then dispelled myself to drop the puddle as the knockup went out. Just big bonehead play. But you can see just how little damage I do, though. Like, even on this fight where it amps up your damage, doing very little damage. So that definitely, item level would help that a ton. Like our acid rain would be doing more, our lava burst would be doing more, flame shock would be doing more. But yeah, this boss, very low healing required. Just making sure all the totems are covered. I'll overlap with this person if I need to. Boss is about to die. Just dropping Spirit Link Totem. Trying to get this hunter to dispel him as quickly as possible. And yeah, boss is dead. So we do end up finishing it. I do get, what do I get? How much IO? I get 46 IO. So I got some IO for it. We'll take that. But there, let's see, 625 item level. Still, I'm pretty sure that's shown. It's the same gear as last time. 3 set from season 1. Still don't have a necklace. Wasn't the most perfect run, but it was a very clean run up until it wasn't. So let me know what you guys think. I know a lot of people are still probably not convinced, think that this is like a hard carry that I got, but you know what? These are a bunch of pugs. A lot of people left the group because they inspected me. These people did not. They knew exactly what they were getting into. I made sure it was very transparent. I wouldn't just run people through this dungeon. And let's see, what did he say? Oh, the tank said, you're 3.1k IO. How did I do? Do I have it? I said, pretty good. Yeah, this tank was fantastic for his item level as well. He only had 30 item levels on me, which is a lot. But I don't know, guys. This group was very good, but not like the most perfect players. The damage was there a lot. The damage wasn't there some pools. But what do you guys think? Was this clean? Am I showing? Have I proven to you that Resto Shaman has the tools required to just carry pug groups? Or not carry, but carry more weight than most other healers could carry in pug environments. Have I proven that? Hopefully I have. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care, guys.